Hi Seb, hi Matt. So if you're watching this video, thank you. So I'm just gonna explain real quick what I'm going to explain during the presentation and what is my project about in the area of networking. So basically, what I'm going to be implementing in networking consists of three major things. One of them is not that important, but basically the critical ones is data protection. That's the first one. Um, Networking, as in implementing the network design and implementation of network devices like switches. So that's the main ones, and the internet connection. That is about the ISP, Internet Service Provider. Um, Introduction, no. Okay, system description. So the installation of the IT support, networking, head office and branches, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, data protection system. This is the backup and recovery solution, which I'm going to explain later. It's really popular website of this tool for this purpose of backup protection, recovery solution for ransomware attacks. It's called Rubric. Anyways, the next one would be access management to protect data and information, and the VPN. Commercial switches is the second one. Yeah, we're gonna use Cisco Catalyst 1000 series, and the internet access. It's only about the wireless access points and internet gateways. That's the rough idea of this implementation. Okay, and we're gonna go quickly to requirements, two switches for the building, for each building, software requirements, the monitoring tool for the switches, data requirements, that would be the bandwidth of the network. Facility requirements, we're gonna need a flow map to secure to secure the physical access to the network devices. So they have to be like in a locked room where nobody has access to it unless it's authorized. And what else is next? Management system implementation. So what I'm gonna say here is that networking is like the core base of the entire project, since it sustains the expansion of the organization, right? We're gonna host all these new devices, all these new employees based on networking support, right? So we're gonna have less congested branches in terms of traffic, because we're gonna have more switches and more like smarter switches. They're gonna function quickly, and we're gonna have building, testing, design, review, blah 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 blah. So the way we're going to implement it is going to, my project will be a agile approach. So I'm going to explain what it will look like. So we're going to use the agile methodology for networking. You might want to use a different one, but you need to explain why is it more suitable for your area of project. That would be customer relationship management or customer hardware, whatever is your subject, your topic. Mine would be agile methodology with sprints. Why? Because I'm going to test, build, design, and plan, test, build, design, and review, and release, launch. That will be for the first building. Depending on the outcome and the feedback of the first building that we're going to release this network, now we're going to jump into the next one, and then we're going to link the two buildings, and we're gonna do the same. So each sprint will be each building or each branch of the organization, yeah. And then at last we're going to implement this same sprint for the headquarters of the business. So we're gonna have a couple of sprints. That's the approach I'm gonna take for my area of the project. As I said again, yours might be different, but you need to explain why. Okay, back to this one. So that is the management system implementation description. Blah blah blah. Let's see. The major tasks will be uh, analyzing all the requirements, site plan, the network bandwidth, the number of hosts that we're going to have on the network. That is very important in order to select the right switch for the capacity. Yeah. Um, and a comprehensive list of employees and list of departments so we can easily categorize and have a proper access, employee access policy for the type of information that they need to access. Uh, this is in order to secure the information or data that we have. For that, we're going to use a AWS management system, access management, which is here. So you can also have a look at it on internet and figure out what it looks like. No, this is not the one. So where do I find this information? On AWS website. Um, I am users. So here's how you assign users and new roles and tasks and all this stuff. Mm, okay, training and go live. This is not really important, but if they ask, I might mention that all the training will be on either AWS website or Cisco webinars. What else? So yeah, the training requirements, switches. Mm-hmm. Okay, how am I going to do the startup and cut over? The way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna have redundancy on the network design. That means I'm gonna have the two switches working together in order to have double the capacity and also to support in case of failure. I'm gonna show you what it will look like. Um, so this is the network design with two switches to reach the same target. So in case, so this one will be the main route, um, which is the implemented one, the new one. And this is going to be the legacy switches. This is the one we're going to get rid of and replace because it's too old to maintain and more expensive. So I'm going to have this one as the main route to transfer to forward the traffic to the hosts in the business, right? So in case of this one failing, this one is going to take over all the traffic. So traffic will go this way, but this one is failing, so it will go back and say it's failing, and then it's going to forward the traffic to this one and straight to the hosts. Once it knows that this one is it's down, so it sends the information to this server saying the switch is not working. So it's gonna start sending all the traffic to this one until this switch sends the information that is up and running again. Then all the traffic will be going to this switch again. Um, okay, for the other one for data protection, um, a quick explanation of the data protection is, so this is the sorry, this one was for implementation. I forgot to mention earlier. So this is Rubrik. It's a company that develops data recovery and management and also data anomaly detection. That means, let's say they are attacked by ransomware in the company, and this is going to when they start when a ransomware attacks, they start encrypting all the files and sending different or unknown files to the databases. And then what this company is going to do is going to detect these different these anomalies, these changes in behavior of the database of the backup sets, um, and it's going to quickly alert the admin guy, and it's going to let them know, and then it's going to um, quickly shut all the services, and it's going to recover from the previous backup set. So it's going to let you know that it's anomalies in the backup sets that is being produced. That's when you know you are being a victim of ransomware. You can find more information about this one on the internet. You just have to
Continue to
go here and find
proliferate,
this title.
costing businesses billions of dollars each year. Steps to prevent ransomware own ability to be compromised.
So this is what it says. It recognizes all the
Rubrik
different
uniquely
files.
identifies anomalous activity across data sets or other serious threats.
This company was very
Rubrik
popular
then
this
discovers
year
precisely
because
what
big
data was
organization got
impacted,
hacked by
determining the blast
ransomware.
radius of an
They
attack.
quickly recovered all the
And that means
information using
IT
this
teams
tool.
can focus attention
That's
on
why it became
affected
big
systems,
popular.
minimizing data loss and speeding recovery
security
time.
thing.
Rubrik's natively
You can find more information on YouTube if you wanna look at it. What's next? Already explained the network design, redundancy, sprints, data protection. What else are we going to say? Data protection, planche cut over. That means something else, don't worry. But the basic of the implementation is the data protection with Rubrik, access management with AWS, switches with Cisco. That's what I'm going to be implementing. If you want to look at this training and documentation, it's all written here: AWS management, Cisco DNA, data recovery with Rubrik. There's all the information is there. You just have to look at it. Performance monitoring. So in networking, I'm going to be using a monitoring tool, which is like Splunk or Wireshark to monitor the network traffic. I'm going to be looking at security flaws and system faults, misconfigurations of the servers or switches, malicious traffic, drop packets. So using these monitoring tools. The development of automated actions to process and forward incidents to the incident management team will improve the incident resolution time. That means they're going to respond to these incidents that the customers logged on the service desk, and it's going to improve the customer retention rate and the satisfaction rate of the customers because they get a response quicker. So that's going to help us out a lot as this business. I mean, um, the rollback and backup plan, basically, as I said in the implementation, I'm going to have the two switches working. So that's a failed cutover and also a rollback backup plan. So I'm going to be using the legacy switches if I need to roll back. In terms of the data sets, because there wasn't an existing data protection policy, I'm just going to be saying it's a new system and doesn't have any backup plan. What's next? Post implementation and verification. So that will be also there's a couple of same answers for many of you. So basically, the verification that the project was successful can be based on asking the stakeholders involvement through the post-implementation review process. So that would be with the customers, with the end customers, with surveys of service, also looking at tickets logged on the service desks, and looking at the type of incidents that has been logged. So if you know it's nothing related to networking or switches, that means um, the success rate has increased and is successful. But if you see an increment on tickets related to switches and routers and access management, then we're looking at something that is not properly configured, and we have to look into it and see what needs to be fixed and how to get it done in a timely manner. We're going to be looking at asking these questions, and if these ones are positive answers, that means our implementation has been done successfully, right? Um, but that's pretty much it. So just a quick summary is rubric, rubric or whatever it's called for data protection and anomaly detection to protect data, basically. Um, the network redundancy for backup plan and in the cutover of how we're going to implement the both systems are going to be done at one time, and we're going to have the old switch is going to have it on another month of trial sort of thing, just to make sure um, in case you need support for the new one in case it fails. So I'm just going to have it for 1 month. That's I'm going to be saying. That's really important to say as for cutover. That's the network diagram. The sprints, that's the methodology that I'm going to be using is agile. Sprints, one sprint for each building or each brand. Sorry, it's each branch of the business. It's going to be one sprint. So I'm going to do the whole testing, building, and launch for each branch, right? And at last, you're going to have the headquarters, as I said. So if you have any questions or that do not understand fully what it's going to be on networking, you just let me know and I'll answer all your questions. Okay. Thank you very much for watching, and like and subscribe for more recipes. Okay. Quickly.